Okay, well, with me now is the editor of the Crown Chronicles, Victoria Howard. Let's have a chat to Victoria about that interview. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. So he was asked why he hadn't spoken about it before, Prince Andrew, and he said that now is a, quote, a very good opportunity. What do you think, Victoria?
This has apparently been in the works for 6 months now. They've been trying to nail down a time to actually talk about it, because quite clearly it's shifted public perspective on the Duke of York.
Who's been trying to nail down a date for this?
Sorry?
Who? Is it the BBC or the Prince's people?
According to the interview, it's both, that the Newsnight schedules, so Emily Maitlis and Andrew's schedule, weren't quite compatible until this point. So it seems that both of them wanted to do it.
Okay, so what do you think about it? Did you think it was a very good opportunity?
I think it could have been, but most of the coverage of it and people's views on the interview was that it was an abomination. It was unconvincing from the Prince's part and the answers that he gave. From myself, I noticed some contradictions between what he was saying, his previous statement back in August, talking briefly about the scandal, and generally it's just not going well for Andrew in this regard. It was a bit of a blunder in terms of PR.
What were the inconsistencies?
So, for example, in the statement in August, he said that he only spent time with Jeffrey Epstein probably once or twice a year. In the interview, that went up to sort of 3 or 4 times a year. He mentioned that he wasn't able to provide the answers that people were looking for. And then later on says that if push came to shove, he would obviously testify or give a statement under oath. And then again at the end said, I would love to be able to give those answers and provide closure. He seemed to skirt around some of the questions, not really answering them. So, yeah.
A lot of people watching have said, on social media, in the press, said that he comes across as someone who's just completely and utterly out of touch. Is that something you'd agree with?
I think so. He is obviously of the older generation of the royals. He's not, the same age as William, Catherine, Harry and Meghan, and the way he was raised in that older style of the royal family just makes him slightly out of touch, and it's unfortunate, but this just really has not helped his situation at all.
Have we ever seen a royal interview like this?
Not quite this bad. Of course, we had the interview in 94 with Jonathan Dimbleby and the Diana Panorama interview in 95. Now, they were both fireworks. Charles admitted to his infidelity. Diana accused Charles of that as well, mentioning Camilla. But to give a statement, an interview that was so unconvincing to many, many people in such a serious way, linked to a paedophile, a sex offender, this is really on another level for the royal family.
Do you think he was ill-advised, or given the fact that we've seen that his PR advisor quit, do you think he just wasn't advised at all?
That's apparently why the PR advisor quit. Jason quit because he advised against it, and Andrew or his people didn't take that advice at all. So the Queen reportedly signed off on this interview and said, yes, I agree to Andrew doing it. But whether she regrets that now in hindsight, having seen it, that remains to be seen. But on all accounts, everyone is really unhappy with everything that he said, and they are genuinely unconvinced by what he told Emily.
Do you think it's going to damage the royal family?
It very well could. Obviously, Prince Andrew is not the head of state. He doesn't have the same responsibilities or duties and commitments that the Queen does, for example, or Charles as a future king. But that makes it all the more difficult. He cannot be held necessarily in the same box as they are, in that he can't just say, okay, let's move on from this. Let's try and get back to work. He has a very minor role in the royal family as well. So it's doubtful that his work could sort of pull him back out of this situation. And I think the general consensus is he should probably step down from royal duties. That would probably only come on the Queen's request from him. But I think that's possibly the right move.
Okay, Victoria, thank you so much. Well, to the election campaign now, and immigration is the key issue of the day, with the Conservatives announcing measures to